What's going on, guys? I'm coming at you with a little bit of a different video today. I just want to give my take on the state of the cryptocurrency market. Real quick, guys, this is not financial advice. I don't really know what I'm talking about. This is just for entertainment. Don't make any decisions based on this video. For those of you that don't know, I have been following the crypto market since about 2014, been actively investing in Bitcoin. I've dabbled somewhat with a lot of the other cryptocurrencies, and I stay pretty up to date on what's going on, all the new developments. I'm not on the cutting edge, but I understand generally what's going on, where things are trending. And most of my net worth, a good portion, is in crypto. A lot of it is just because it's appreciated so much from when I started buying it, but a lot of it is because I really believe in it also, or else I would sell, of course. So let's just really quickly here take a look at the CoinGecko, which I've been using CoinGecko instead of CoinMarketCap just because CoinMarketCap's so just weird and gimmicky now. I don't like it. Like, they put Wall Street Bets as the #1 coin, and I'm just like, I just want to know the market caps. Quit doing all this dumb stuff. This just tells you the market caps of the top cryptos, and I'm recording this on, I think, February 8th or 9th, and this is after Elon Musk just announced that Tesla bought 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and this is really the number that you want to be looking at pretty heavily. Bitcoin dominance is at about 62% right now. I actually let me just pull it up over here. Okay, so I like to look at it like this and just keep an eye on this. To me, if you are interested in getting into altcoins as opposed to just Bitcoin, so that's every other coin besides Bitcoin, we call it altcoins. If you are looking to get into those, this is really the chart you want to be looking at. So this is how dominant Bitcoin is relative to all the other cryptos. And you can see here it's sort of fluctuated between, like, I guess you'd say 73, and at the last big bull market, it got all the way down to 35. I don't think we're ever going to see that again. To me, I think we're probably going to see a range of, like, this seems reasonable to me, probably like 50. This is probably maybe 75 at most. I guess we can just say maybe like that is probably the range it will trade in. The Bitcoin dominant. So as Bitcoin gets more dominant, you may want to diversify into other cryptocurrencies if that's your thing. But I guess, yeah, let me just give you my whole take on what's going on. A lot of factors, I think, that play into the current price of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular. Number one is the macro backdrop, which is basically all governments are printing fiat currency at its highest rates ever. So in order to store your value outside of fiat currencies, a lot of people are turning to Bitcoin. Because what's really the point of having your money sit in a bank account, allowing the bank to, like, loan on your money, and you're getting like 0.2% for the privilege? So it doesn't make a lot of sense. People are seeking alternatives, and a lot of them have found Bitcoin. Another thing that's happening is, I think it's called the Lindy effect. Is that what it's called? Is the theory that the future life expectancy of something is proportional to the current age. Yeah. So basically, Bitcoin has been around for a long time. It gives people more confidence, especially after the last big bull market. It went up to 20K, went back down to 3K, and now it's back. So people are like, okay, maybe this is something serious now. And institutions are starting to buy it. That's another big factor that's going on and definitely increasing the price of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy was the first big company to do it. And it's not even that big of a company. It's a few $billion company. There's the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which is an exchange traded fund of some kind where you can buy Bitcoin just through a stock market ticker symbol. The catch obviously is you're not really buying Bitcoin, you're buying shares in a fund, so you don't own the Bitcoin. But if you don't really have access to buying Bitcoin, then that is a good route to go, and it's just brought a lot of money into the Bitcoin market. The recent big news, which a lot of people are saying is the first of many, is that Tesla bought 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and this could just be a sign of things to come. More companies could do it. And Bitcoin being a finite resource, people are thinking, and they're pricing in that it could really run up here in the near term. I'm kind of on board with that. I think the only thing that makes me hesitate is the fact that we are really in a bubble-like territory as far as speculation goes. And Bitcoin is a speculative asset. So it's being propped up by that a little bit. Obviously, the GameStop whole thing was speculation. The fact that the put and call just options trading is at all-time highs. Margin margin accounts is at all-time highs right now too, which is people borrowing to invest. A lot of things that just give me cause for concern. As far as crypto goes, I've always been more of a Bitcoin maximalist. I think you really want to be accumulating Bitcoin, building up your Bitcoin holdings. Taking some measured gambles in the altcoins could make sense if that's your style. There's definitely a chance to make more money in the altcoins than there is in Bitcoin. Lately, what I've been thinking is I would like to find some actual altcoin investments, because I think the industry is maturing more now to where there are actually some companies doing some real things. Whereas the last big bull market, there was a lot of companies doing nothing, just selling coins, and people were buying them. To me, it's starting to mature to where I think you can actually start making some long-term bets that you actually just hold for a long time. I'm looking to do that. I haven't really done that yet. I have a few that I'm kind of kicking around. I like the idea of, the big thing is you have to distinguish. Are you betting on someone buying this altcoin from you for a higher price in the future, or are you actually betting on the underlying business or whatever to be successful in the long term? Distinguish those two. So the big thing you've probably heard with crypto lately is DeFi, decentralized finance, and the GameStop fiasco, super low interest rates at the banks. It's making people just want to get outside of this whole regulated system where you can't win because it's all set up for you to lose. DeFi definitely makes a lot of sense, and I've been exploring it a little bit because I like the yields. And usually when you get high yields, there's a reason for that, right? You're taking more risk. There's a couple of things I've tried. I've tried synthetics, which is right here. It's a token that you can stake, and they pay you a crazy amount of interest, like 30% annually. I no longer have it because I was just a little frightened by, I wanted to try it out and see what everything was about, but like, it doesn't make sense to get 30% interest. So that scared me off. I'm currently out. But I'm kind of just dabbling in these things, seeing how they work, seeing if they're promising. And it's really as easy as like, I'll just kind of scroll down the list. I kind of know what all these do now, but I'll look at something like Theta Network, right? This is the 26th ranked coin, and the market cap's almost 3 billion. So I just kind of go and I look and I'm like, okay, what am I getting for 3 billion, right? I'm buying into this $3 billion enterprise. Okay, we go to thetatoken.org. Oh boy, this looks very interesting. It's some sort of YouTube, Twitch TV hybrid powered by blockchain. Okay. But then I go and I look, and oh, it turns out there's maybe 1,000 total people using this. So to me, for $3 billion, does that make sense? No. You're really pricing in a lot of growth, which, you know, maybe it will grow, but I'm not betting on it. And then another very important thing is you have to understand how the token works and why holding the token would be valuable. So there's some tokens that make sense as to why you may want to hold it, but there's a lot that don't really make sense as to why they would have any value. So there's certain cool ones, like this one I was looking at a little bit. It's called Terra, and there's an app in Korea. It's called Chai, which is a payment processing app. It's kind of like here in America, we have Stripe. The people that hold and stake Luna token, they get a percentage of every sale generated from that Chai app. And to me, I'm like, oh, this is actually real world. It's usable. And you can actually crunch the numbers on the return you're expecting to get from holding the token. That makes sense. I don't currently own this one because it's really run up a lot, as you can see. That's an interesting one. It actually has real world use and is somewhat successful. So I want to understand why the token has value and the actual use case of the business. So the big one you're hearing about lately is DeFi, right? You can see the market cap of all DeFi tokens have ran up dramatically. We're at about 70 billion now, just the market cap of DeFi tokens. And I think, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. This is just me sharing what I'm thinking here, is we are in the first inning of the DeFi revolution. We're super early. It doesn't make sense right now. That's how early it is. A lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. There's going to be hacks. There's going to be, things going wrong. I think we're going to have a chance to buy these in the next couple years. So I'm keeping my ear to the ground. I'm watching these. I'm just not really actively engaged with this right now. There are a few that I'm watching more closely than others, like Aave, Uniswap, Terra, Synthetics, Compound. Those all seem pretty cool to me. I'm just not willing to pay the current price for them. That's the thing. If you really walk yourself through like this whole decentralized financial future, what it's going to look like, what are we going to need? We're going to need loans. We're going to need credit. We're going to need a decentralized exchange, which I'm surprised it's taken this long to get. Like, I guess Uniswap is the best one right now. But man, you can't even, you still can't swap Bitcoin for ERC20 tokens on a decentralized exchange. So that's going to be something we need, of course. Going back to what happened at the end of 2020, when Amazon stopped hosting Parler, which is an app, it stopped hosting its servers. To me, I was like, okay, for sure we're going to need decentralized cloud hosting. So that's something I'm looking at. Just kind of running myself through what makes sense to be decentralized in the future, what doesn't, and, you know, where's the market going? And there are these new things sprouting up too. There's one that's called BlockFi. It's a centralized sort of like crypto bank that you can put your Bitcoin or your other, they accept a few different types of crypto. They accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Pax Gold, and a lot of stable coins, and you can get interest on your Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. This didn't used to exist. You can get about 6% interest on your Bitcoin up to 2.5 Bitcoin. The main concern is obviously just the counterparty risk. If BlockFi ends up being trustworthy, they seem to be quite trustworthy. They use Gemini, which is owned by the Winklevoss twins, for the custody of the Bitcoin. That's another cool direction things are heading. And you would think in the future there would be more of a decentralized version of BlockFi. There kind of is already. That's another dynamic that's at play, is everyone's searching for yield. So there isn't a lot of yield out there. That's why the stock market has run up so much. Everyone, they don't just want money sitting in the bank getting 0.2%. So people are chasing after yields in crypto. There's a thing that's called yield farming. To me, it's just a little concerning. I think it's going to end badly this time, but then it'll come back around and be something that you probably want to be a part of. I could be totally wrong about that. That's how I'm feeling right now. So what do I think makes most sense? I mean, I'm big on crypto. I'm in it for the long term. Do I think it makes a lot of sense to be buying Bitcoin at 46K, which is what it's at right now? That's hard to say. I'm not actively buying it myself, but I already have some. So it's a little bit different. I would probably be waiting for a pullback, and probably a quite severe pullback. The psychology is tough because when Bitcoin does pull back, it's tough to buy because you're like, oh my gosh, is this thing just a total scam? It's a fraud. It's a pyramid scheme. You gotta, maybe now is a good time to build some conviction in the actual technology and why it's necessary. Why you would want to have some sort of store of value outside of government issued currency. When you have that conviction, then I think it makes it easier to buy when Bitcoin is in a bear market. So maybe just be on the lookout for that. It's tough to really want to put a lot of money to work when it's 47K. But if you guys are totally new, some good ways to buy Bitcoin is you can buy it in Cash App. You can buy it through PayPal. You can buy it through Stripe. I always buy it through Coinbase. That's what I've done in the past. Lately, I've been using Kraken, which is a crypto exchange. You can buy Bitcoin using US dollars, and then you can also exchange Bitcoin for other cryptocurrencies. Overall, I'm big on crypto in general. I just know there's going to be short-term pain. There's probably going to be some short-term gain too, and it's hard to really say which is going to happen first. That is what you get paid for. That's like I've held Bitcoin for the last I guess 7 years now, and there's been times where it's crashed 80% multiple times. Probably 4 or 5 times now. And there's been amazing times where it's like, oh my gosh, I have so much money in Bitcoin. This was the easiest bet of all time. And right now it's one of those times where it's like, of course, this was so obvious. But there will come a time where you'll be thinking that it's never going to reach this peak again. Because after the 2018 big bull run, when it went back down to 3K, people were questioning like 20K, that was probably peak Bitcoin all time. It's hard to have diamond hands and hold on to Bitcoin. Just know that getting into it. The easiest way to do it is to set up a recurring buy order where you just buy a couple bucks, maybe $50, $100 every couple weeks, couple months, whatever you want to set up. Just dollar cost average in over time. That's going to be your best bet. Set it and forget it. Don't try trading it around too much. Just accumulate over time. Another thing I am watching, guys, is I'm big, and not a lot of people are, but I'm big on Bitcoin and I'm also big on gold. People seem to be one or the other for some reason. I think there's a case to be made for both. Basically both of these are a bet against the current financial system, which I'm making that bet strongly right now. I'm big on gold. I'm big on Bitcoin. I do like to look at the gold to Bitcoin ratio. Which you can see it's at all-time lows right now. Gold is very cheap relative to Bitcoin, and it's just continually gotten cheaper and cheaper because, like, you know, down here it was its all-time cheapest and it continually got cheaper. Some moves I've been making lately is sort of putting a little bit of my Bitcoin into gold. I do that through this right here. It's called Pax Gold. It basically just follows the price of gold. And you can read up on the website. They actually show you, you can look up the vault with the gold bars in it, which you own. So it's pretty transparent. You can, right here, you can look up the gold allocation lookup, which is pretty cool. So that's a good way to just quickly go from crypto to gold. If you think your crypto has run up too much, and you're like me and you're kind of confident in both crypto and gold. So I don't have any like crazy price predictions, which I think people sort of look for when they see a cryptocurrency video. I mean, my general sort of thing that I'm doing right now is when the Bitcoin dominance gets up to be too high, maybe like 65% plus, I would like to ideally be putting my money to work in cheaply priced DeFi coins, but the DeFi coins are not cheaply priced right now. So I think that time will come in the future. What I'm doing right now is looking for non-DeFi coins that are pretty cool, interesting, seem like they have a good runway, a good future, some interesting product or use case. And I will put some of my Bitcoin into those when the Bitcoin dominance gets too high. But yeah, my general belief is Bitcoin's only going higher over time, but who really knows? You know, I think anything seems reasonable. A lot of people are saying like 500K, a million, just crazy nonsense. That's a long way off. That's 10 years off. What's the most we could see this year realistically? I think probably 75, 80, something in there. I don't think we'll see 100. And then we'll probably retest 20K. You know, I think that's definitely in the cards. What I'm mostly watching is DeFi. I think it's a little overheated. I don't want to be putting my money to work in DeFi right now, but it's really hot. It could continue going a lot higher before it goes lower. Long term, I do like DeFi. If you're new, you don't understand what DeFi is, read up on it a little bit. Oh, really good resource, guys. If you sort of understand crypto and you just want to read about the current state of the market, there's a site, Masari.io. Over here on the top right, they have their special reports. Go to Thesis 2021 and read this full report. And this is just super comprehensive, gets you fully up to speed on pretty much everything that's going on in crypto right now. Just a really good read. It probably takes 2 or 3 hours to read, but you can skim through it. Really good read, gets you fully up to speed. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm a big long-term believer in Bitcoin. The hard thing is the psychology. You just have to be, if you want to hold Bitcoin, you got to be a long-term holder. There's going to be pain. You get paid for the pain. That's the thing. In the long term. So yeah, I'm going to continue holding. If you have a bunch of cash just sitting in the bank, that's scary. To me, that's scary. Because you're getting taxed on that just by the money printer running constantly. They're printing more money, devaluing your money. I think it makes a lot of sense to get outside of that system with some percentage of your assets. Again, guys, not financial advice. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's going to be the video. Thanks for watching.